don't believe in fairy tales. They were high school sweethearts who had exceeded the expectations that their young relationship was only puppy love. Because here they were 5 years later in matrimony, and her kisses still gave him chills like the first time they locked lips behind the bleachers in Mr. Burnett's gym class. Her smile still gave him butterflies in the base of his belly. He hung on to her every word like child to mother's breast at birth. He discussed her as if she was God's most magnificent miracle performed. She was no superstar, but he was her biggest fan, purchasing every lie she ever sold as if it was a platinum record. To him, they had a love like Carl and Harriet, Clift and Claire, Tarzan and Jane. A love divine like television sitcoms and romance movies with fantasy and fairy tale conclusions. He never imagined that their forever could shatter like glass to concrete in a matter of moments. The moment she walked in the house with her heart heavy with burden, because she knew tonight would be the turning point of their lives. She grabbed his hands and uttered, "We need to talk." They sat down on the couch simultaneously, hearts beating rapidly as if they had just finished running a 15K marathon. She sat there with her face covered in regret, and his was dressed in confusion and fear. Knowing nothing good was to come from this one-woman monologue, he was just a sit-in on her stage with no idea of what was going on. "Action," she whispered. "I'm sorry. It wasn't supposed to happen." As if she didn't have the power to prevent it from happening. He just sat there, confused with face frowned. The lights on that stage got dim. Without hesitation, she went on to tell him that all while he was picturing their marriage in a frame of perfection, she was off painting distorted Picasso paintings with an unfamiliar artist, creating hideous hues with splashes of seduction outlined with lust and engraved with infidelity. Her words cut deep like samurai swords slaying soldiers in the Satsuma rebellion. Imagine being in the midst of a battlefield with no armor to protect your heart from those striking with intentions to diminish your existence. Who knew words could be used as weapons, or that love could be a mirror image of Vietnam War? He just signed up to love her, like kids signed up for the army for college tuition and ended up on the front line without his permission. He just sat there in awkward silence, tears flowing as if they were attempting to suppress the fire in his eyes. He sat there, imagining her moans ignited by the stroke of another man. Her legs spread widely, fingers clenched in the blades of his back, submitting her existence to the dominance of another king. He just sat there. She walked over to him, kissed his forehead, and asked, "What if I told you our son wasn't our son?" He just sat there, tears flowing as if they were attempting to suppress the fire in his eyes and in his soul. Walls collapsed like twin towers, while emotions ran rapid, skydiving from the exit wounds of his heart. Lungs gasping for air, he forgot how to breathe. Her words took his breath away. Like Rihanna, she was murdering him slowly. It was like Freddy had brought a nightmare to his street, and he had no chance of escaping this horror film. He was in love with a monster the entire time, sleeping with the enemy. From a short distance we shouted, "Run! Run! Run!" We tried to warn him, but we was just viewers of the movie screen, so of course we went unheard. He stood up, weak, barely able to walk, As he started towards the door, she cried aloud, I don't blame you for leaving, but if you go, I think you should know that I know we got AIDS. Releasing the last round off into his flesh, she murdered a good man and left him lying in a pool of cold love.